kind of various Vedic texts, Manusmriti, they reserved the higher positions, education, everything to them and left the other things to the majority population of this country. So up to this, all the kingdoms, the majority population of this country never had any primary education or any other education. There was no elementary school or any school for these people in any of the kingdoms. That was our history. If I can be specific, in 1610, an Italian priest, Robert D. Mobili, he visited India, he came to Tamil Nadu, then he went to Madurai, one of the very important cities of Tamil Nadu. He went to the schools in that town and found that nearly 10,000 students were studying at that point of time in Madurai in 1610. And he sent a report to Italy that all these 10,000 students are there in China. This was recorded in 1924 by a book written by Srinivasa Sastry, assistant professor in St. Joseph College, Trichy. The title of the book is History of Nayaks in Madurai. He has recorded this event. And that was the position of these majority people in this country. They were denied education, they were denied the status, they were not given any opportunity to work in the various governance of the system. So continuously these people have been suppressed, discrimination was there. So only after the Britishers came into the country, there were certain openings for these people in various areas. So the Britishers were able to see that only a minuscule minority is dominating every field, and the majority people are working as slaves in the country. And they appointed a commission, the name is Hunter Commission, which you call it. And the social revolutionary Jyotirao Phule in 1881 gave a witness in that, before the commission. He said that the non-Brahmins should be given schooling in that part of the land, that is in Pune, particularly Maharashtra area, particularly Pune area. And he was very much specific that even the teachers should be non-Brahmins, otherwise the Brahmins will not teach them. That was his deposition before the commission in 1881. Thereafter only slowly we had Saku Maharaj was the king of Kolhapur kingdom. He first brought the reservation policy in 1902 for the backward classes, and education was given to the parts of the area. And in Mysore kingdom in 1917, then Mysore Maharaj, he brought reservation policy so that these people can be given education and employment in various fields of the state services. In Tamil Nadu also, the Madras presidency, the non-Brahmin leaders, they formed an association called South Indian Liberal Federation in 1916. But that name was not known by anybody because they started a journal called the Justice. So the people, common people also used to call the party as Justice Party. Even now we are calling as a Justice Party only. Those leaders formed that movement in 1916. At that time, Periyar was not in the field. Only in 1919, Periyar came. He joined the Congress, and in the Congress he moved in every conference a resolution demanding this 50% of the seats should be reserved for the backward classes, but that was not accepted in the Congress party because it was dominated by the upper caste of Brahmins. So finally he quit the Congress and started the self-respect movement in 1925. So the Madras presidency Justice Party came to power. They introduced reservation. A communal GO was introduced by them in 1921, but that was not to be implemented. Thereafter, only in 1928, they were able to implement communal GO, which provided 100% reservation for all the communities. Brahmins were given reservation. For every 12 seats, 2 seats were given to them. Likewise, Anglo-Indians, Christians, Muslims, and backward classes, and Hindus also, forward Hindus like that. All these people are covered in the 100% reservation, which was continued up to 1950 till the constitution came into effect. After that, there was a challenge for the GO. It was struck down in Madras High Court, citing Article 40. Then matter went to Supreme Court. It also upheld the High Court order. So Periyar entered into the agitation, and finally the Parliament passed the first constitutional amendment, Article 15(4), to provide reservation for the backward classes, scheduled castes and tribes, and that formed the basis for the states to provide reservation in education. So whatever we are having today, reservation in education, was on account of the first constitutional amendment in 1951 June. And thereafter the government of 1935, we had an act where the SCs, STs were able to get the opportunities. And after independence, the backward classes, there was a provision in the constitution which was initiated by Baba Saheb Ambedkar as the chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution. Article 340 was there, but the commission was not appointed. Only in 1953, a commission was appointed headed by a Brahmin, Kaka Kalekar. The report was given to then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, but the chairman, Kaka Kalekar, had a dissenting note on the commission's report saying that I am not in agreement of the members' views. So that report was not debated in the parliament, there was no implementation. Then the backward classes wait till 1978, when the then Moraji Desai government came. They constituted the second backward classes commission, and headed by B.P. Mandal. We call it as Mandal Commission. He gave the report in 1980 December. Even that was also not placed in the parliament. There was continuous struggle asking the government to place the government appointed report in the parliament. That was the situation of the backward classes in this country. Only in 1990, when VP Singh became the Prime Minister, he took one of the steps of providing 27% reservation in jobs in the government services. When the Mandal Commission report was given, he identified nearly 52% of the population belonging to the backward classes. But since there was a case, earlier judgment, Balaji versus State of Mysore, which said that 50% ceiling should be implemented. So he took it as a gaining factor. So he restricted the backward classes percentage to 27%. And in 1990, VP Singh initiated 27% reservation in jobs. Thereafter, in education, there was no reservation for backward classes at the all India level. By then, various states were implementing reservation policy in various states, in various percentages also. So when the UPA government came, headed by Manmohan Singh, then they brought the Central Education Institutions Act 2007, and it was passed in the parliament unanimously, whereas it was stayed by the Supreme Court. In 1990, when VP Singh brought the GO, that was stayed by the Supreme Court, even though there was provision in the Constitution. Article 340 is there, Article 15(4) is there, Article 16(4) that says the backward class citizens of this country can be provided reservation if they are not adequately represented. There is a provision. Even the Supreme Court gave a stay on the order, and the judgment Indira Sani case was conducted. It gave the judgment on November 16, 1992, upholding this VP Singh order, but with the rider class. that there should be a creamy layer among the backward classes. They should be removed from the purview of the reservation policy. There should be 50% ceiling on the reservation percentage, and there should not be any reservation promotion from the backward classes. Even for the scheduled caste, there should not be any reservation promotion. That was the judgment of 9 judges bench of the Supreme Court. But in the Parliament, till then, since the SC and the ST candidates were availing reservation promotion, the amendment was brought, Article 16(4)(a), to restore or to continue the reservation policy for SC, ST in promotion. Whereas for OBC, the reservation promotion is not there. Likewise, in Education Act also, Supreme Court again gave the stay, despite the 9 judges bench of Indira Sahni uphold that the 1990 order. It said Bundle Commission report is valid. GO issued by VP Singh government is valid. Even then they stayed this act in 2007 by a 5-judge bench, constitutional bench, finally gave a verdict in April 2008, stating that the act is valid, but with the rider clause that the killing layer should be there. And the IIT and IIM and the AIMS, they said, we cannot implement 27% at a stroke. We need some time. So every year we will implement some 9% installment basis, they continue. So till 2012, the OBCs were not able to get the complete 27%. So thereafter only it started implementation. For ACs also, right from 1960 onwards, there was a reservation in central government education institutions and government jobs. But even then, the percentage of AC, ST in the top level post of Group A are not to the complete maximum. Even now, the position is not to the extent of 15% for SC or 7.5% for the ST, leave alone OBC. OBC is nowhere near 27%, they are still 16% like that only. That is the position today. The data given by the government shows that in many of the departments, the representation of the OBCs is almost zero. In 41 central universities, the faculty position OBCs are zero. I have got data in various education institutions. For example, faculty in higher education, professors in IAM, SC 0.8%, ST 0.2%, OBC 2.6%, and the other candidates are the remaining are the general, which maximum they will be only general candidates, means upper caste only. Likewise in IIT, SC is 2.23%, ST 0.31%, OBC 5.44%. This is the position in the faculty position in the IIT and IIM as of 2019. There is not much improvement. Likewise in various government secretaries level, the representation of OBC, 99 secretaries are there in the government services of the union government. It is zero for OBC. So only the lower level, Group D level, as Safai Karamchari, the representation is somewhat nearing 27%. Even then it is not 27%. So that is the position. Even after 75 years of independence, even after there was a provision in the constitution guaranteeing reservation for these marginalized sections or suppressed classes, we have not reached even to the extent of minimum extent of 27% for OBC or 15% for SC or 7% for the ST in various powers of the government. So basically, I want to tell you that when you look at this reservation policy, it is not a mere question of jobs. It is a question of representation of the groups in the power corridor. In a democratic sector, India being divided into various castes, various sections of the people belonging to various groups, they should have a say in the decision making process. That is the basic idea of this reservation policy. Not that the government can provide everybody, all the backward classes, scheduled castes and tribe jobs. That is not possible. That is not also expected of that. But they should have, their group have a representation in the decision making process. Whether that has happened after 75 years, then only this answer you can find out from that itself. Whereas after 75 years of independence, we can see that we have not even reached to the even to 49.5% in many of the areas, which is as per the present percentage, the SC, ST, OBC percentage is 49.5%. Whereas the data shows that we have not even reached 49.5%. So actual percentage in terms of population, we are nearly 85%. The other forms, the other groups, upper caste and other brands, including the brands, they constitute nearly 15%. Whereas this 15% is cornering more than 70% in various cadres up to group A11. And at the top level, secretary level, in the vice chancellor level, in the judiciary level, they are almost 95%. That is the data says. See the judiciary in Supreme Court of India. There are nearly 34 judges. After 75 years of independence, we have got only 2 judges from the scheduled caste, 1 judge from the backward classes. And basically from Tamil Nadu, the first scheduled caste judge came from Tamil Nadu, Justice Varadarajan. Due to the efforts of Periyar, when Periyar in a public meeting said, after 100 years of judiciary, we don't have a scheduled caste judge in the Madras High Court. That was a message given by Periyar in the public meeting where CM, that Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Karunanidhy was sitting there. So immediately Justice Varadarajan, who was a district judge, was promoted to High Court. That was, he was the first scheduled caste judge in the entire judiciary of High Courts. Because he became a judge in the High Court of Madras, he was able to come to the level of Supreme Court judge. He could not become a Chief Justice. But first scheduled caste judge was Varadarajan. So it took so much of years, despite the fact that there is a provision in all the spheres of the government, these marginalized groups or suppressed groups should have a representation. Article 64 is very clear. If there is inadequate representation, the state has got the powers to give appointments in the services of the government. Whereas judiciary, which is asked to uphold social justice, is not doing that. In many of the high courts, except Tamil Nadu, we don't find the representation of the scheduled caste, tribes and OBCs in the judiciary. Only in Tamil Nadu, because of the Periyar movement, Dravidian movement, we had some representations today. Today we are having nearly 40 judges belonging to the backward classes in Tamil Nadu Madras High Court. Nearly 9 judges belong to the scheduled caste and nearly 11 judges belonging to the women category. That was possible because of the movement. Continuous, there was a focus on social justice for nearly 100 years in Tamil Nadu. The movement has worked. So there is some visible, we can see some signs of social justice in Tamil Nadu compared to other states. But in other parts of the country, in various states, we don't have a social movement to address this issue. Even in Maharashtra, Jyotirapur started the Satya Sodhak Samaj, but the movement is not there today. The SNDP, Kerala, it is not a vibrant social movement today. So we should have a social movement, then a political movement cannot get into all these areas, because in the vote bank politics, they may switch over the sides also. What happened to EWS, the reservation? Almost all the parties except DMK, RJD, IEML, all supported this 10% EWS for the upper caste in parliament. Only we challenged in the court, and it has been going down in the court, where you can find the judiciary is completely on the other side, and only the petitioners, we have become a minuscule minority before the court today. Even though on the road we are the majority, but inside the Supreme Court, the 5 judges bench, we stand as a dwarf there. That is the position after 75 years of independence. We don't have a representation in the judiciary to hear our representations properly. So this is the position. And people have the confusion of identifying the areas of social justice, whether economic criteria should be there or not. There is a big confusion on that. So they confuse themselves that since he belongs to the poor, he should be given reservation. Reservation is not a poverty alleviation scheme. It is another measure, economic measure. The disease should be cured in the proper way. If I have an eye sore, I should be given only a medicine for the eye. Whereas here the treatment is for the leg. So that is what is happening. So these people think by addressing that, we are addressing a poor people belonging to the upper class. It is not so. The concept itself is going to be defeated if the EWC is going to be upheld by the judiciary. Because the social justice is a different aspect. Article 46 is very clear. That social injustice and exploitation. These people should be protected from social injustice and exploitation, for which there should be promotion for the interest of the weaker sections. So the weaker section should have a social injustice, should have an exploitation in the past. They should be given the social justice measures, whereas the government is bringing a backdoor entry of bringing the EWS among the upper caste into the Article 46 and trying to dilute the whole concept of social justice into economic justice. So already the backward classes, the scheduled castes and tribes are not even achieved the half of their population percentage in the power hierarchy, and you are coming in the backdoor a 10% reservation for the upper caste who have been already dominant in the power hierarchy to the extent of 90 to 95%. You are adding to them 10% so that will be the dilution of social justice. They want to insert the concept of economic justice, which is against the preamble of the Constitution. Ambedkar was very careful in creating the preamble of the Constitution. He said that justice, priority is first social, then the economical, political. So first priority in this country is social justice, because in this country only the society is divided on the caste line for not few years, for hundreds and hundreds of years. The population being the majority, they have been deprived of basic education and status, a self-respect. That is why Periyar started the self-respect movement. So to address the issue, one of the measures is the reservation policy. It is not the only policy, but it is one of the measures. Because by that only you can reach the top level. Whereas the present government has made a lateral entry concept also. The government is now recruiting directly a joint secretary, where the government says there is no reservation policy. All these executives from the private sectors, they have been put as a joint secretary, all are upper caste people. Whereas our people have joined as an under secretary, then he has to become a deputy joint secretary, by the time he retires. He cannot enter into the secretary level. That is the position today. So backward classes or scheduled castes or tribes, they have not reached the power hierarchy to the extent expected from of the Constitution. The real sense that it is a different issue. In terms of population, we should be the masters of this bureaucracy, masters of the judiciary, in the legislature. But we are not the deciding factor of the policies of the government. We are only in the implementation side. We are not the creators. That is the position today. So whether we declare a reservation policy, even in 2022, the answer is we have not even achieved it to the minimum extent possible. So it has to carry on for another so many years till we reach adequate representation, at least if not proportional representation. Proportional representation is the ideal form of democracy. Whereas adequate representation, at least, is to some extent these people will be there in the corridors of power. If you look at the other way, take the case of the United States of America. There is an affirmative action policy there. But it is not written in the books of the Constitution. There is no government order. It is a private sector economy there. But even then, they implement the affirmative action to the discriminated groups on the basis of race. Hispanics, blacks, they were all identified. They were all given the positions, not in the lower level like India, in the top levels. If you allow me, I will just give you one or two instances where the position of the blacks in various fields of the government, I can just give you one data. Representation of blacks, I am telling you. Fortune 500 companies. Exxon Mobil. At the level of managers and officers, blacks 16.9%. Ford Motors 18.2%. IBM 21.56%. US based Boeing 18%. General Motors 23%. It is all top level of Boeing. And Harvard University researchers 33.9%. Teachers in medical school 13.67%. Trainees 37.5%. Even in the media, in Wall Street 17%. New York Times 16.2%. Washington Post 19.5%. Los Angeles Times 16.7%. Just I want to take you one of the case in America, particularly in Michigan University. It is a law school also, where a student of white race, he was denied admission even though he got a better mark than a black student. So he approached the Supreme Court and said that I have been discriminated. But Michigan, the Supreme Court said that this affirmative action is valid and the black student admission is correct. But the interesting point is, there the Supreme Court, even the public or enterprises can enter into that as amicus curiae, and Microsoft, their advocates were there, they submitted, and they said we are supporting this affirmative action. And after the verdict, the Microsoft announced that Microsoft applauds the Supreme Court's decision to uphold the university's right to include race and other factors in its admission process. We hope this ruling will help preserve the ability of our nation's institutions of higher education to develop the diverse talent many companies need to cultivate a multicultural workforce. At Microsoft, we believe that the ability to recruit such a diverse workforce is critical to our success in today's global marketplace, and we look forward to continuing our partnership with the University of Michigan and other institutions. This is Microsoft. Likewise, AIFL, that CIO President John says the decision is a victory for America's working families because it preserves the important principle that a diverse student body benefits institutions of higher learning and ultimately America's workplaces and our communities. Like the GM and all these major companies, they entered the Supreme Court and they supported and applauded the university's decision to provide affirmative action. That is the position in the America. Still then there is a, practically we see so many racial discrimination, that apart. But without any government order, and a policy has been taken in the right state by big major companies. Whereas in India, even the judiciary is not allowing reservation in the high courts and Supreme Court of India even today. That is why the representation of the backward classes or scheduled castes or tribes is not there in the judiciary, which affects the concept of social justice in various angles, in various matters. If I am permitted to say that, when the communal GO that was providing 100% reservation was challenged in the Supreme Court, there was no judge belonging to the BC or SC or ST, and the judiciary. Even now we don't have. But at that point of time also we don't have. We lost the battle, but finally Parliament supported the idea and brought the amendments. Take the case of Indira Sahni case. There is a provision in the constitution to provide reservation. Article 840, 15.4, 16.4, even the Supreme Court gave a stay on the order. Again in 2007, the same happened in the Central Education Institutions Bill. Even now on social justice matters, the court is on the forefront in giving a stay. Whereas in upholding the matter, there is no other verdict like that. Whereas in UWS, still now there is no stay. Right from 2019, we have challenged the petition. It was not even a stay. It has been continued to stay at rest. Now only they took the matter with the bullet speed. They want to finish the matter within short time. We don't know what will be the judgment. That is a different matter. But they have allowed the system to continue, which is an unfunctional provision, and act is passed in the Parliament. The judiciary is allowing that. So the judiciary or executive or the legislature is not representing the real people of this country. That is why Periyar said in 1924 at a public function, when he was talking at a public function, he said that before Britishers leave this country, they should settle the question of Brahmins versus non-Brahmins. Otherwise, these people have to suffer under the tyranny of what he called Brahminocracy. So in 1947, when India attained independence, Periyar was the only leader who said that this is a transfer of power from the Britishers to the Brahminical system. So that is what we are experiencing today. So the reservation policy, whether to continue, whether it should be whether we need it today or we very much need that, we want further improvement on that, because it has not addressed the issue in proper shape. There are so many hurdles in various sectors. Even the government orders are not implemented by the government. Take for instance in 2015, our people belonging to the backward classes, they got selected by UPSC in various cadres, IAS, IPS and other people. Nearly 100 people, they were denied appointment by DOPT. They said, since your parents are working in a public sector, their income exceeds the prescribed income saving limit, you are not eligible. But the very DOPT order says that salary income is excluded. The same department has issued an order in 1993, whereas they ignored that order and said that what we till today is the order. Without any order, they stopped the appointments of these people. Those people, some of the people came to Madras, they filed the case in Madras High Court. Madras High Court said that your act is unconstitutional, they should be given postings. Even then they did not give, they went to Supreme Court and stayed the Madras High Court. Likewise in Delhi, some of the students appeared, they got in their favor. That was also stayed by Supreme Court. Till today, I am telling you, 15 students have not got their postings even now. This is the social justice that is prevalent in 2022. Even though UPSC said that you are eligible, whereas DOPT said that you will not give the postings, despite the fact that the order of the DOPT says salary income should not be taken for identifying the criminal. The same department now prevents, there is no, even the court, Supreme Court says, High Court to decide. When the High Court decides in their favor, Supreme Court is not pressing on that matter. That is the position. So this is the fact today. So the backward classes or scheduled castes or tribes or even minorities, they are not adequately represented in the power corridor. Until we achieve that, there is a necessity that this reservation policy has to continue. Until such time, we have, but the battle is not very simple, and we are in the coming days, the battle is going to be still severe, because in the backdoor method, the government and the judiciary are trying to impose a concept of economic criteria, which is going to dilute the social justice concept. So, my friends, it is in your hands to take the battle ahead. And on the eve of Periyar birthday, that is the message which I want to share with you.